Before we begin reading the novel Touching Spirit Bear, we're going to do a pre-writing project based on the big idea that anger can be constructive and destructive. In our novel, the main character, Cole, deals with destructive anger and learns to turn that anger into constructive anger. The standards we're dealing with are research and writing, and your task for this week is going to research and present your research. The project has 5 steps that you will need to follow. Step 1 asks you to select one famous person from history who has used his or her anger in a constructive way to change the world for the better. An example of this might be someone like Rosa Parks, who stood up for equality and African American rights. Because of her stance, she was able to pave the way for equality, so her anger was constructive. Or you can select someone who has used his or her anger in a destructive way that has harmed the world or people in it. An example of this would be Hitler. His anger was so destructive that he killed millions of people. You are going to research one person out of those 2 choices. When you start your research, you'll need to use at least 3 internet sources. You may not use Wikipedia because it is not a valid research source. You'll also need to document your sources, and if you are found plagiarizing, you will get a 0 for the assignment. So make sure you rewrite all of the information in your own words and paraphrase versus copying and pasting. As you research, you're going to be asked to fill out a document or a biographical sketch of your person. This includes information about the person's date of birth, where he or she lived, some of the major events in his or her life, and how his or her anger specifically changed the world for the better or for the worse. This is the cause of their anger, what caused them to get angry, and what was the effect of their anger. For example, Rosa Parks was angry because she wanted to be equal. She wanted a seat on a bus. She wanted to be equal to the white people riding that bus. The effect of her actions is she stood up for her rights and allowed other people to take the same stance, eventually leading to equality between blacks and whites. After you've done your research and submitted your information, you'll need to prepare a visual of your project. You can either use PowerPoint if you're familiar with PowerPoint, or if you'd like to play a little on the internet, you can go to www.prezi.com and create a Prezi presentation. There are 2 grades for this project. The first grade is your notes for 50 points. It's called Quiz Number 1, Anger Project Research. The second part of this project is your PowerPoint project that you'll be presenting to me. This PowerPoint or Prezi is worth 100 points. Here's an example of the expectations. As you can see, I've completed this graphic organizer here regarding information on Hitler. I've used 3 different websites, as you can see at the bottom here, and I've filled in all of the required information from this graphic organizer. This is worth 50 points, and this is where your research will be placed. After the research is complete, you'll need to make your presentation into a PowerPoint or Prezi. There are slides, and there's a graphic organizer for the slides where you can place each of the following on the slides. On slide 1, we should have your title. On slide 2, you should have the name of the individual and a picture of him or her. On slide 3, please mention the cause and effect of his or her actions. Did this person use his or her anger constructively or destructively? Slide 4 should consist about facts about this individual. Again, do not copy and paste from the internet. You will receive a 0. On slide 5, please include the sources you used for your research. Be sure to spell check your project and upload it to me for a possible 100 points. The grading rubric is A through F. Please take a careful look at the rubric and how your project will be graded. Here is an example of what your project should look like when you submit it. Slide 1, title page. Slide 2, a picture and name of the individual that I'm researching. Slide 3, the cause and effect of my individual's actions. Hitler obviously was a person who used his anger destructively, and the effect was he influenced the murder of over 6 million people. Here is the information I researched in my own words about Hitler's life. I did not plagiarize any of this. I paraphrased and put it into my own words. And finally, here are the 3 websites I used for my sources of information. If you have questions, please contact me. Have fun.